What is up, Retromaniacs? My name is Mike. His name's Joe. His name's EP. And we're here to talk about cards. This week, we've got some hot takes for you. I am ready to go. We've been chatting before the video, and we were all fired up for this one. So, Joe, get us going. Give us a hot take.
All right. So this one's going to be my Lucas warmest of the hot takes because I have some hot takes coming.
You like to build up.
You got to build up. Yeah, my hottest take is going to be on fire. But this one's going to be a little bit later. I think companies need to just stop making jersey cards. Just stop. Just stop. And what I mean by, let me specify, game used jersey cards. Just stop. Just stop making them. Just say, I'm done. It was a fun little thing we did in the 90s and 2000s. But you know what? We can't guarantee that we can source enough stuff, apparently. That must be the issue. We're not going to pay the money to source the materials. We're just going to do the fake ones. And you know what? Keep doing the fake ones. But make them look cool. So don't even bother doing game used unless it's like I'll give Fanatics credit where credit is due. The debut patches, like things like that. If they're tied to like an event, if they're tied to something big, sure, make those game used. If not, just give me cool patches. I don't care if they are from an event or not. Just give me the cool patches. Turn jersey or patch cards into just cool inserts. And we've kind of talked about this a little bit. I don't think anyone has ever said just stop making jersey cards like game used, right? But I'm just sick and tired of napkin patches like that aren't even associated. Like, I think napkin patches from game used stuff is kind of lame. Napkin patches from not game used, way lamer.
That's really bad.
So if they are really cool and tied to something, keep them. But if they are not, just give me part of the number. Give me part of the sleeve part that has the stripes. Give me part of the logo. Give me part of the name. Give me the cool stuff, whether or not it's game used or not.
I cannot disagree. Listen, I grew up when the same way. Like I cut my teeth in the hobby the same time you guys did. I love game use. The thought of game use back in the day, like this is amazing. I love this so much, and I love game use. And to think that this piece of cardboard has a piece of the jersey in it that the dude wore, and even we had some cards that had like said what game it was on the back of it. Amazing stuff. But that is not where the hobby is right now. And as somebody who goes to card shows and stuff, I know that Bill, who runs Docs here in town, he said that he'd rather have the manufacturer stuff because it always looks cooler. And so, like, if that is where the hobby is right now, you know, kind of lean that way. And as much as I don't want
lean into it, the ship is sailed on this. I think.
I would never want to go away 100%. Like you said, give us cool stuff. Give us the timely stuff, the stuff that is tied to a game or whatever. But yeah, I mean, give us more cool stuff. I mean, cool stuff in the hobby sells, and we like to look at it.
I think there is a huge segment of the hobby under a certain age that don't watch our videos because they're under a certain age. Right. They're like, what's this dude even? How's that a hot take? Like,
right.
We've been saying that for years. Give me this. I don't care if it's from a game or not. Just wanted to look cool. And that is the prevailing, thought of a lot of younger collectors. And, I do kind of agree with you. Like, you just do it. Just cut the cord. Stop doing. They don't care about game use. Older collectors like us do. We talk about a lot. We've talked about a lot different shows here, and like, why don't they do it? And why can't they do it? But if you're not going to be able to do it consistently and won't do it consistently, yeah, I think I agree too. As much as I hate to say it, I think I agree with that.
Yeah, we got to move on. We got to. This is the hobby we're in now. We got to look at the times we're in now. We just got to move on. The way you said it, Mike, cut the cord. I think that's a perfect way to say it.
All right, EP, give us a hot take.
My first one is that people who disrespect low-end priced cards are at simultaneously the part among the worst and the best things in the hobby. They're among the worst because obviously that is where we live, and I love so many cards that are on the low end. There's so many. You can build such a cool collection with 50 cent, $1, $3 cards. But in the same regard, they're the ones who sell their low end cards for 20 cents a card to me, and I can make 3x, 2x, 3x, 4x. Like I can triple my money or quadruple my money on a lot of these cards. So keep hating them. If you hate them, keep hating them. If you don't, if you like them, keep buying them.
Are you talking about me?
I thought he was talking about me actually here, and I'll tell you why in a sec.
Because, well, EP and I, for those that don't know, we have like a bad habit of we kind of sell cards back and forth to each other. Because, I sell some at a stack sale and I have some left over and I bought them from him. I sell them back to him, then I buy them back from him. Yeah, but I see what you're saying there, and yeah, you're right. Like, and again, I do the hobby the way you want to do the hobby. We are not in the upper echelon of this. We don't like to spend 10,000, but like if you have the money to do that and that's how you like the hobby, that's fine. I don't care. I like lower end stuff. I like, to me, expensive stuff. I would not hesitate to buy a card that I really wanted if it's $500, maybe even a little more, So what's the difference if somebody wants to pay 5,000 for one? Yeah. So I think we all kind of feel that way, but yeah, I love lower end stuff. I love getting them. I love selling them to other people. I love buying them from people. So yeah, I agree with you there, even though I thought you were talking about me.
Yeah, so because I had messaged him on the side and I was like, hey, I have all this non-sports stuff that I'm probably not going to build sets with and this, and I'm like, would you be interested? Okay.
No, I got the first offer. No. I got the first offer. No.
I'm not stepping in.
All
right. So yeah, and I'm probably the one out of this group who is more willing to go out and buy that high end card. Mm-hmm. But guess what? I also have 3-ring binders.
You appreciate my
exactly. And I appreciate the low end stuff and building sets. To your point, EP, it kind of reminds me, this hot take kind of reminds me of people who complain about the price of wax, like high-end wax, but they like that people open it because that puts a lot of cool cards that you can get way cheaper than you should considering the cost of the product into the market, right? So it's kind of a love-hate relationship with a couple of those things. And that's a really good point. Like, yeah, if someone doesn't want to love the low end stuff, I'll love the low end stuff and I'll be able to make a little bit of money on it too.
All right, my turn here. I'm going to start with this one. I hope PayPal and the IRS start cracking down on people that use friends and family all the time. It's not what it's for. And you're avoiding paying taxes on stuff you should rightfully be paying taxes for. Maybe this is because I just had to pay in some on my taxes. Maybe I'm a little salty, but like I'm sorry, I'm a dinosaur. I know there are people that will just say you're old, you're a dinosaur, but business has always been done a different way. And you pay your taxes on stuff you're selling. If you're selling cards as a business and you're want people to pay friends and family, or you charge them for your fees, you're doing it all wrong. And the people that do this and get away with it so they don't have to pay taxes that they should be paying if they're running a legitimate business, it makes it hard for people to do things the right way, that do things the legal way. And I hope they crack down on it because they have to see it. And I'm sorry, you might think that doing this is your way to not have to pay taxes, but I guarantee you, if you get audited by the IRS and they subpoena your PayPal records, they're going to go, okay, why is it here that you have $40,000 in friends and family payments? And you're going to have to prove some really good them that these were done legitimately for like friends giving you money. You're not safe if you're doing it this way. If you get audited, you will still be in a lot of trouble and you'll have to pay a lot of money in taxes. So hopefully at some point this gets cracked down on because it's way out of hand. That's my hot take.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And to the point where I agree with you, I'm like, I don't even think this is a hot take. But if you look at the hobby as a whole, they would be like, oh, this is a flaming hot take.
Oh, I guarantee you I'll get a comment and somebody disagrees. Right. That's fine, but you're wrong.
Across the channel and comment about how dumb that take is. Like, but you are wrong. Like, if you're selling a good or service, there's a whole thing about selling goods and services. So I completely agree. And there are situations where like I made a trade with someone that Benedict Cumberbatch autograph. I did send friends of it. It was a trade. I sent him some cash and I sent him like some cards. That's fine. I'm not selling that card. He didn't sell that card to me beyond just as a friend. He didn't put it on eBay. It was just a transaction amongst friends. That's not, I don't think that's what you're talking about here, Mike. It's about
he did kind of sell you something. So
he did.
That would still fall under my definition of
now. Okay. So here's a question I have. What if EP and I make that transaction for those non-sports cards? He's a friend.
We used to be friends,
but he's buying something from you.
So he's buying something. So
he's not just giving you money because like you paid for the pizza and he owes you that. Or,
that's true. Okay,
it's his part of the rent that is paid. Like if there's a good or a service involved that you're charging somebody for, it should be on the up and up. And I'm not going to change my opinion on
that. My amount that I'm selling you per card has gone up a little bit.
There you go. Right. Not asking you to pay the fees. I'm just saying it costs a little more.
It's going to cost a little bit more.
That's what you get for not giving me a chance to buy those cards.
Yep, that's what it is. That's how it turns out.
I am a stickler for the rules to put it in some ways. Like I don't drive through yellow lights. Okay, I stop at yellow lights because they're going to turn red. That is the person I am. If I drive through a yellow light
faster,
if I drive through a yellow, when I drive through you're going to still drive through them. I'm like, I get really tense about it. So anyhow, that's the kind of person I am. So I agree with this take 100%. But I think in the cases of like me and Joe, I think it's a different situation. Like I feel like that is not something. If it's somebody that's dealing in thousands of dollars a month or something like that, then you're running a business. Where if it's just me and Joe having trying to transact, but it's a normal thing that where I would normally just give him money, but he lives in Pittsburgh. I'm not going to drive to Pittsburgh to give him money. So I feel like that is a different thing.
I only accept checks from EP now. You have checks.
PayPal makes it easier. PayPal makes it easiher for me to have this one-time sale with him on this sort of stuff. So I disagree in that regard, but I do agree that if you are a bit like running a legit business, doing a card selling to a bunch of people that you don't know, that is definitely falls under the goods and services part of it. So
fair enough. All right, Joe, heat it up a little bit. Second time around.
Just turn the dial a little bit. Ultra modern PMGs suck. They just do. And I opened up a box of Marvel Metal Avengers. I seen a bunch of rips from it. Like the reason PMGs were so cool, and they weren't even that cool in the 90s, Mike. If you correct me if I'm wrong here, but it wasn't like a thing in the 90s. They didn't become a thing until the nostalgia hit. But when they were a thing in the 90s, the reason was because no one saw them. Like, did you guys ever pull one?
No.
Like, I don't remember ever. You had one out of all the shit we opened up in the shop. You can remember pulling one. I never pulled one. EP never pulled one. No one in the shop that I remember ever pulled one. It was because they were hard to pull and they were so beat up. Like the manufacturing of them was horrendous. Now, seemingly, you can pull them in some products 2 per box. In other products, I see 3 or 4 coming out of a case. They suck because they're going to have no value. You can see like big time. I've already talked about Marvel ad nauseum, but big time characters, you can get PMGs for under $100. You've got big time wrestlers, AEW, Sting, probably the biggest name. You could sell us, or you could buy a Sting PMG for less than $100 out of the AEW metal. And he's probably one of the bigger characters. One of the bigger wrestlers in that product. So, and they're made better. So they're not going to, they're going to get pulled. They're going to get sleeved and top loaded and sent off to be graded. So they're going to come back 8s, 9s, and 10s versus, 6, 7, and 8s. They're taking this idea that was awesome back in the day and just running it into the ground. And because they can't come up with something new, and we throw Panini under the bus a lot, and we all love Upper Deck. We all love their stuff. They are one of the worst culprits of not coming up with new stuff. And maybe that could even be my hot take. Upper Deck is just not good at innovating because all of their stuff It's just stuff they did in the 90s or IP of companies they bought from the 90s. So the specific take is ultra modern PMGs kind of suck. They're not going to have value like PMGs did have in the day. And Upper Deck just kind of boring when it comes to innovating products.
I mean, but didn't they add an extra layer? Did they have like diamond now, like the ruby and ruby emerald?
Right. It's just they're just expanding the number of
right.
PMGs, right.
They're playing on our nostalgia in this case, and I agree with you 100%. Like what a part of what made them so special from back in the day is they're also wearing a lot of low numbered inserts, like no numbered parallels and cards. Like that also made it a bigger deal. You think about the EX credentials, like those are some of them as well, but they were very, very limited. They're very, very crazy, like we said, not many of us pulled any of them. They're very, very difficult to pull, and so that's why. And now they're how old they are, and so like that's what makes them so special. Where the new ones are just more of the same. That they that thought the concept of the precious metal gems cards have evolved and changed and been used over and over in different products for all that time. So when we get them now, they're just more of the same kind of. Where that's what makes those other ones special. Because they were like the first ones that kind of did it.
And to back up Joe here, because some people may not believe that they weren't worth a lot of money back then, but in one of the boxes I had boxes of cards that were 50% off, and they were the lower. I had a Kevin Green precious metal gem.
Oh, that's right.
98 or 99, I forget which year, but it was one of those. I think it was 98. I closed at the end of 2004. The price that I found on that out of that box when I started going through my stuff a couple of years ago was $15. So that card was worth $15.
And it was in a 50% off box.
And it was on a 50%. Yeah, because that was a book value. Stuff did not sell for book value. So, and nobody bought it for $750 in the 50% off box. I sold that card for $400. So yes, they were not worth back then what they're worth now. Nowhere near the level.
And in 20 years, when this 25 years, when this PMG class, so to speak, is the same age as that PMG class, they are not. I have a Bert Emanuel. Mike doesn't even know who that guy is. And his red PMG from 97 is a $400 card, not just the one I bought. Like there was a PSA 6 that went for like $350 recently of Bert Emanuel, who I love, but is kind of, other than me and his son, I don't know who really loves Bert Emanuel. So you're not going to, if you can't get more than $100 for a Sting PMG, what do you think is going to happen in 25 years? Do you think they're really going to be worth that much?
The AEW metal, if I have this correct, they have a red PMG and a green PMG. They have a retro red PMG and a retro green PMG, and they have a retro blue that is not a PMG but looks like a PMG, and people usually list like a PMG. So
or they might put not PMG, so
PMG is
in the thing.
That sounds like 2024 to me.
Yeah. Marvel Metal Avengers, same exact way, Mike. Same
That's
exact
what I
way.
figured, yeah.
Yep.
All righty, P. Turn that dial up a little bit. Turn the heat up. Give us something a little hotter.
I'm pretty sure that Joe has said this once before in some capacity, but I am all in on this train. Non-sports cards are like the hidden gem of our collecting world. I love sports cards. I've always done sports cards, but the bottom line is older non-sports stuff is amazing. There's a lot of it out there, a lot of really cool stuff out there. Stuff that hasn't been even. There are probably a lot of people who dabble in stuff here and there, but there's a lot of stuff out there that hasn't even been rediscovered by people in the hobby right now. And I feel like that's something that I really want to get into. Like just find some really weird, cool stuff from back in the 90s that when they were making cards for everything, just find a couple of those boxes. And that to me is kind of like where my hobby is. I'm even getting like chills a little bit right now thinking about this really cool stuff that could be out there that we don't know about right now.
Check out 3 cards. I'm not going to spoil it because it's in a couple of days, but check out EP's 3 cards, and there might be a card in there that checks this box quite a bit. I'm not going to disagree. I'm not going to disagree. I think one of my hot takes last year when we did this video was that the only thing that you can open and not feel gross is non-sports. I think that might have been one of my hot takes at some point, and I still feel the same. Like, I am rediscovering things, just going through just Star Trek cards recently. I did the same thing with Marvel when I got back into it, kind of rediscovering things that I had forgotten or didn't even know about at the time. And you're right. Like, we talk about how this hobby is all about nostalgia. What's more nostalgia than TV shows you watched when you were a kid?
Right.
Like, sure, like there's athletes and there's things like that are nostalgia. I think that the nostalgia points are pop culture points way more than sports. So if you want to talk about this hobby and how we're getting the nostalgia out of it, I think you're right, EP. It's non-sports. There are so many hidden gems, and there's something for everyone in non-sports.
And I think the state of the sports card hobby right now has really like pointed out, like, you buy non-sports cards because you love whatever that theme, whatever that is that the set is. Like, you're not going out there and buying, Game of Thrones cards if you never watched the show. You're buying because you watched it and you like the show. A lot of sports buying now, it's just like, can I pull this expensive card out of this? And can I get it graded and get a 10? And like, the connection you have to the cardboard you're opening is so much less than, like, I feel like it is for a non-sport card. Again, you're buying that something. Yes, is value. Some people do that for value, but overall, you're buying something because you like it and you're enjoying opening it. That's why it doesn't feel gross when you don't get something good, because at least you enjoyed what that set was. Where, if you don't get that kaboom or that downtown out of the football or whatever it is you're looking for in sports, you feel really sick because you have no connection to the player that was on there. You're not appreciating, oh, I got this Victor Wembanyama base card. I really like him. And you don't. It's not, I didn't get the numbered out of 99 one.
Right.
So, like, even pulling the player you want can be a disappointment because it's not the right card. It's not expensive enough. And non-sports cards, you can get something that's maybe a $10 card and you look at it and go, that's really cool. Like, I love Silver Surfer, and this is a really cool card. I'm glad I got that.
Yep. It's a PC Forever card, right? You can find so many of those like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna plug your series, Mike, your retail series. Go and watch that. But I think just watching all of them so far, and EP, whenever you get a chance to watch our content, let us know. But just watching them so far, you seem more excited opening up the Marvel, and it seems you took a bigger financial hit on it than
it did.
some of the sports
It was
stuff.
the worst.
But
it was fun.
But you were talking about how cool it was and how much fun the product is and how much fun looking at all the different characters were. That's the difference right there. Like, you took it a little bit harder from that, but you enjoyed it a lot more. Don't take that out of context, people. All right.
Don't take it. All right. I'm going to turn the heat up a little. My number 2, overpaying for a card. Absolutely fine. It's fine. You know why it's fine? Just buy it. You like it. If it's going to make you happy and you want it, just buy it. If somebody has a card at a show that you want, that's going to make you happy, that you got that for your collection, don't worry about the damn comps. If they have a price and you're okay, pay it. Don't worry about what the last one sold for, because let me let you in on a little secret here. Almost everything that you buy now is not going to be worth as much as you paid for it in 10, 20 years. It's just not. So enjoy it. Turn this hobby into, I'm buying this not because my family's going to get rich when I pass away. Buy it because it's making me happy now. Buy it because I want to put it on the wall and see my Paul Heyman gold refractor shining every week behind me. I look how that light shines right on those cards. I love those cards. Is my family going to be able to buy a beach house when I go by selling those cards? No. But guess what? Anytime there is that particular Paul Heyman card come up on eBay, I'm watching it. I have 6 of the 50. I want to get 10 of the 50. I just do. And just buy it. Make yourself happy because it's not going to be worth what you paid for it. It's just not.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's my hot take.
100% agree with the caveat the caveat included if you can afford it. Like that's for everything. Like don't buy something you can't afford.
Whatever it takes. Yourself. If it's gonna make you happy to buy that $20,000 card, do it. Don't ask your wife. Don't ask your mom. Just whatever. Just do it. My investment.
I'm going to disagree with that hot take. But the previous hot take, I completely agree with the actual hot take. Like Troy, our buddy Troy went and found the Patrick Stewart auto I needed. Sure, the last comp was probably like $100 less, but guess what? I hadn't seen another one of those come up in a while, and the guy wanted $500. I said, "Don't even haggle, just give him the $5. You know, I'll PayPal him the $500." I think I sent it. Oh no, goods and services. I did send it. I did send it. Good services.
You better.
Yeah. I mean, comps are comps in the moment. And I think we've talked about this on the pod before. Comps are comps until they're not comps. Because again, once something gets dried up, the comps don't matter. If that card only comes up every so often and you want it, you will probably have to overpay for it because that comp was for that time. We're in a whole different world.
Or even if the card is just there in the moment, like you're walking through a show, you have $40. It's a $40 card. You can buy that there, make yourself happy. Yeah. Just do it. Just go for it.
Yep.
That's what this hobby is supposed to be about, right? Like we're supposed to be collecting cards. We're not supposed to be worrying about the dollar value. I mean, obviously that's always something in the back of your mind. But if you see something and it's almost like the light is shining on it, like the God light is shining down through the clouds onto this card, like that's the card I've been looking for. I want it, and if it costs $10 more, $20 more than what you think that you should be paying, like, but you haven't seen it before anywhere. Like you pay that whatever the price is. Like, yes, sir. Can I have that card? I want that card right now. That's the card that I want.
Yeah.
That is how it should be. And I do agree with Joe though. Like, you know, within reason. If you see somebody's got this card listed for $5,000 on eBay, and you have a
it's ironic. I'm the one saying that, by the way. Right. The guy who's bought multiple overpriced Tom Brady rookie cards. I'm the voice of reason here. But yeah, I would say within reason.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. Give us your hottest hot take.
As I'm thinking about this, I thought this is going to be a red hot fire hot take. And then the more I thought about it, especially the way we talk, maybe it's not so much. Maybe it would be for other people. This is a hot take / prediction. I believe that Caitlyn Clark, if both of their career trajectories go the exact same as predicted, both of them, I believe that Caitlyn Clark's rookie cards should be and will be double the value of Victor Wembanyama rookie cards. And I'm legit saying double, not like, oh, this rookie of his is worth $100, hers is worth $120. No, if his is worth $100, hers should be worth $200. And the reason I was thinking about this take, and we've talked about all the different, why she's so great and why she makes a difference in the WNBA way more than just a normal, just like generational talent in the NBA means less to me because there's more of them. Where in the WNBA, there's been one, again, don't lie to me and say you've been watching WNBA for years. I know who you are. Don't you dare to lie to me. But there's less of those type of players. And I was actually originally just going to do this at the top of the podcast this week, just talk about just some silly, I was bored research that I did this week. With select WNBA coming out, I thought someone's racing to go buy something. I can hear it. They
go buy Caitlyn Clark before they go.
And they're going to break the comps. They're going to break the comps. So I thought about this because Select WNBA just came out, and I'm like, well, I know Select NBA has come out. I'm curious if I can find a comp. It's not as easy as you would think because like the WNBA have like straight up golds. The NBA had like gold pulsars, gold wave, gold tecton, whatever. They didn't have a straight up gold. WNBA had autographs. NBA does not, of Victor Wembanyama, does not have autographs. The only comp I could find that was as close as possible was the tie-dye snapshots. They both have those cards. They're both numbered out of 25. They're both technically inserts, but those are the only one-to-one comparison. Let me just pull up the thing so I don't misquote this. His WNBA. Now this came out this sale was a month after the set came out. Sold for $868. It's a raw, and it was card number 1 of 25, which holds a little bit of a premium, being 1 out of 25 jersey number or 25 out of 25 generally. Hers, which again was a bookend, so a pretty good comp. It was 25 out of 25. Sold fixed price for $2,000. That's over double of what his. And I'll tell you what, I think that's right. I think there was actually meat left on the bone. I think they put it for auction, and I think it goes over $2,000. It could be triple of what his are worth. So I guess maybe that's a hot take, triple. But I'm just going to go double. If their careers go the trajectory that they should, and we predict they will, her card should be worth double his, and not even blinking an eye at it.
First of all, I want to say how much I appreciate when you say "Don't you lie to me," you lean into the microphone so you get louder and you get really close to the screen, and when you're playing, it's really great. But so Victor Wembanyama this past week had a 5x5 game where you gave at least 5 points, steals, rebounds, assists, and blocks, and he did that last year. It's only happened 23 times in the NBA since like 1973 or something like that. He did it last year and this year. Last year was the last time anybody did it. And so he could potentially be this mercurial type of player, this like all-time great. But I also agree that Caitlyn Clark, she's the pioneer for the WNBA. She potentially is this person who will always have this icon of women's basketball. So I agree 100% that, I mean, 2X is definitely on the table. 3X is probably also on the table. 100% agree with it.
Okay, I have a pen and I'm pointing at the camera, so I'm going to be serious here.
This is legit.
I think you're underestimating it 2 times. It will be more than that, because Victor Wembanyama can have a great career or whatever. He is not going to transcend the game. He's not going to do anything other than be a good basketball player. He is a big guy. At the end of the day, no matter how many 3-pointers he can shoot, he's a big guy. Mm-hmm. He's not an athletic freak. You look at the guys that are most LeBron James, Michael Jordan, they could do special things on the court that people didn't see before. And they're like physically imposing and athletically imposing. And I don't think Victor Wembanyama, no matter how well he plays, can get to the point like where the general public know who he is if they don't watch a basketball game. Caitlyn Clark is already that person.
Yeah.
Has been now for a while, and like her popularity and will only grow as she puts her career together. So, and she could be like the Magic Johnson and Larry Bird of the WNBA.
Yeah, we talked about this.
That is, I think, where she could fall in terms of bringing eyeballs to a league and maybe helping that league grow into something it never was before. So yeah, like Victor Wembanyama can have a Hall of Fame career, and he will never ever touch her in terms of what is it, the Q rating? Is that what they use like for marketing and stuff? Yeah, like
sounds right. Yeah,
you like. Caitlyn Clark will always be a bigger name and a more popular athlete than Victor Wembanyama.
Let's spice it up then. 3 times.
There we go.
3 times.
I like
Let's
it.
spice it up.
I like it. Yep.
Let's do 3 times. 3 times.
With a pen.
With a pen.
It's serious with a pen.
It is.
Yeah, it's getting very in your face.
Now we need
makes a point.
Now we need a with a pen t-shirt. Now we need it with a pen t-shirt.
With a pen.
They're holding a pen, yeah.
All right, EP, what is your hottest take?
Well, I kind of alluded to it, kind of talked about it a little bit on the Monday show, but the biggest problem with our hobby is that there is too much money in it. Period. There are too many people paying too much money for these high-end cards. It is changing the market it's a trickle-down effect on the entire market. And the people who are living in that world, they probably don't like to hear that because they're doing all this investing. But for hobbyists, for true collectors, there is too much money in the hobby, too many people spending too many dollars on stuff that is not worth the money they're spending it on. And it's hurting everybody else.
I like it.
Yeah,
I agree too, because you have a lot of, like we talked about on the podcast, those high dollar sales aren't collectors, really card collectors. I don't think they are. I'm going to guess the people that are buying, like last Monday, the $500,000 Mickey Mouse card, or you're buying a couple $1 million LeBron James or Michael Jordan, you probably don't own a whole lot of $2 Michael Jordans.
Right.
So, you know, maybe you're still a collector, a different kind of collector, but like you really don't have a big footprint on the market. You're controlling the upper part of it, but where everybody else is, where the big population is, you're not part of that. So I don't think those sales really should have impact, and they do, because well, if the one of this just sold for 500,000, my Mickey Mouse out of 100 has to be worth 5,000. It's like, no,
that's not how that works.
So I like it. I like it.
Yeah, you know, like there's a bunch of old sayings about money corrupting, right? I mean, in the card market, it kind of is that way. But I'm not saying we want the hobby to be this big, but we talked about this all the way back in episode 1 when Michael Rubin said he wanted to 10x the hobby. We never really talked about what that specifically means, if it meant people or money. And we're kind of coming down to the point where we know for a fact now it's just the money, right? He's trying to 10x the money in the hobby. And that's happened, and it isn't good. You know, I don't want to like put any sort of like, because I don't presume to know anyone else's financial situation, but like you could almost, if someone comes in and says, I'm going to spend $20,000 on this card, or I'm going to spend $50,000 on this card, like at what benchmark, not to sound like a gatekeeper, but at what benchmark do you think, boy, are they really a true collector? Like, do you only have those $50,000 cards? Or like you said, Mike, do you also have the $2 to $3 versions of those cards? Because that makes a little bit of a difference. And it is absolute power, and absolute money is corrupting. I mean, it really feels that way.
The thing is, if you think about think about how people collecting, if that card doubled in value tomorrow, how many people would sell it or keep? Like the decision to sell or keep it, most of those people would be like, sell it in a heartbeat. Where a lot of people, if a true collector would be like, oh gosh, so much money, but I don't want to sell it. It's so much money, but I don't want to sell it. Like that. That's what a collector would be, as opposed to like that gone.
Yep.
Okay. My hottest take. I got a pen now.
I was just going to say the pen. Jeez.
I am going to piss some people off with this one.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I am going to take something that is one of the most popular parts of this hobby. Something that I've done. I think, Joe, you have. Most collectors do this quite frequently. And my hot take is collecting a rainbow is freaking stupid. It's stupid. We are all sheep, and the card companies, oh, we're just going to give them a little more. People, well, yeah, if I put 37 different parallels in here, people are going to have to do it because we conditioned them to, oh, next year we're going to do 62 parallels. You got to get them. Why? It's the same damn card with a little bit different background. You know, okay, maybe you have some sense of accomplishment when you finish it, but it's the same card. Look at it. Look at the picture. Don't look at the background. Get your binder, get your box out, pull out your rainbow. It's the same card over and over and over again. They got you and me and him and all of us.
That's why I'm leaning, baby.
The same damn card over and over and over and over. They're not like imaginative enough to be able to make different cards that we want to buy. They're just going to give you the same. Oh, just throw that little Photoshop picture on it, change the background. They'll buy it. That's what they do. That's what you do. That's what I did. I'm stupid. You're stupid too. Collecting rainbows is stupid. There we go. That's a hot take for you.
And I'm jumping in first, CP, because I'm literally sitting right in front of one. Then I'm still looking.
I am too. I have them all over.
I'm still looking for the pink out of 3 and the black 101 in case you have them at home, so I can complete this rainbow. No, I completely agree. It is stupid. I remember talking about this a while ago. Ironically, as I was kind of collecting a rainbow, the ones that are the dumbest are the ones where you pull the 101 and you're like, well, now I have to collect a rainbow. Are you a Velus Jones Jr. super fan that I didn't know about? Like, why in the world, if you pulled his 101, do you feel the need to then put the rainbow together?
Yeah.
And if you don't know who Velus Jones Jr. is, that's my point. So yeah, I completely agree with this take. It is well, it's kind of like the set registry on PSA. It kind of feels that way, like giving people these like benchmarks that they have to hit to be this true collector of this player, of this set, of this card. I'm going to give myself a smidge of a pass. And the only reason I'm going to do that, it's not flattering for me to say this.
Okay.
Is because I buy multiples of cards I like anyway. So if I'm going to buy multiples of cards I like anyway, like there's one Patrick Stewart card that I absolutely love. I have 2 and I wouldn't stop myself from getting a 3rd. So like at least in this case, they're kind of different cards, but like, but still, unless you have like unlimited time and money and feel the need to like chase this out as some sort of accomplishment, I don't know why people do it. I don't know why I do it other than the point I just made about just buying multiples of things. But yeah, I like it. It's a good one.
Listen, applause, Mike. This is great. I love it. The thing is, when it is a case like you with it, if it's a certain player that you're a super collector for that collector, please collect whatever you want of that player. But if you're doing things like
stupid for doing it,
absolutely 100%. Like, and also
I'm
like
stupid for doing it. Yeah.
The thing I was gonna say is this is why we have pink boa constrictor camos, camo parallels, because there's, like you said, Mike, they're just keep adding 37. Now next year we're gonna have 65. Next year we have 125 different parallels, and they're just gonna keep going because people are gonna keep buying it and putting together the rainbows for their favorite players. And again, not trying to yuck anybody's yums. Please, if you have a player that you do that for, please go ahead and keep doing it. But understand that you're part of the problem.
Rainbows are totally a Beanie Baby situation. You get them out there and people started collecting them. Then they started making more and more and more. And you get people to feel like, oh, I have to get them. And then you just draw it out and take more and more and more of their money for cards. Again, none of these are going to be worth anywhere near what we put into completing our rainbows.
Right.
Me included. I'm not just making fun of you. I'm making fun of me too, because I've done it and I admit that I did it.
I don't believe that you're making, or you don't have a pen in your hand when you made that last point, is my point. Like, to really drive that home, I need to see the pen.
Also, I want to ask Joe, so you're done collecting rainbows after you complete your current rainbow that you're working on, right? Just like
I'm not even like, I have it in like an eBay safe search thing.
Okay,
like if they come up, I'll look at them, but I don't know if the pink actually exists because I've never seen one of those. And the 101, it's like, I think you and your buddy Rob had a conversation about, is something a rainbow if you don't get the 101?
Yep.
What it is, what it is. I like the card, so I'm going to buy multiples of them regardless. But yeah, the rainbow thing though it's manufactured to make people think they need to do this.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, fight me in the comments. I don't care. Look at me.
And don't say
I don't care.
And don't say you've been watching WNBA for years. I know you're a liar.
All right, guys. That was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. Give us hot takes if you have any in the comments. And if you're still watching this like 20-hour long video. We'll see you next week. Take care, guys.
See you, boys.
See ya.